Hello and welcome back with another character, Datafile. Today we're going to talk about one of the most popular and one of the oldest member of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Jadzia Dax. Well, oldest in a way, as she was 28, but she was actually 328.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm still the same old Dax. More or less.
Jadzia, born in 2341 in planet Trill. As a child, she was very shy and quiet, although she worked really hard to become a joint Trill one day. Before she became a joint Trill, she actually attended Starfleet Academy, and she graduated from exoarchaeology, exobiology, and zoology as well. Jadzia initially was rejected from the symbiont program by her field docent Curzon. Although after Curzon's initial rejection, she applied again to the symbiont program, and she was the first Trill who actually succeeded for the second time. In 2369, she was assigned to Deep Space Nine as a science officer under the command of Commander Benjamin Sisko. During her time in Deep Space Nine, she made many friends and she accomplished a lot of things. But most importantly, being a joint Trill, it means you carry over and you carry on the oath and the friendships that you actually made in your previous host. So basically, you inherit a lot of friends and habits from the previous host. And in the course of the series, we actually got to know Jadzia Dax and the Dax symbiont in a very interesting and deep way. That aspect of Jadzia's life came across in the episode Dax from first season. She almost let herself executed to cover and protect Anina Tundro and her late husband from humiliation because Curzon and Anina Tundro had an affair. That was one of the aspects of Jadzia that I really loved because she really kept her word and she really carried on everything that the previous host did or promised or made an oath of. Talking of oath, Curzon Dax made an oath with Kalat, Kang and Kor, and basically that trio wanted to get revenge on the albino who actually killed Kang Sung. For Kang, it was really hard to actually accept Jadzia as being Dax and taking this oath with herself and helping the groups to actually take their revenge on the albino, and actually it turned out for them she had more in common with Curzon than they initially thought.
Do you not recognize our old friend, Dax?
Jadzia was overly fascinated by the Klingon culture, and on one occasion she helped Kor and Worf retrieving and searching for the Sword of Kahless, one of the most iconic weapons of the Klingon Empire. In the episode Facets, we actually got to see the previous host from the Dax symbiont. That was a really memorable moment in terms of Jadzia's life, because she got to know why she's doing things, because after being a joint Trill, she inherited a lot of things from previous hosts, like clasping her hands or even the love for the Klingon culture.
I hold my hands behind my back the same way you do.
Not to mention that little detail that actually Curzon kept away from her to protect her from the realization, as Curzon felt really close to her.
You're in love with me.
I still love you.
Although as it turned out, that aspect of their relation made a big impact in Jadzia's life. Jadzia being assigned to the station as a science officer, although after the arrival of the USS Defiant, she became the ship helmsman, although during the Dominion War she proved to be a really good commander and a captain as well. She had many interests in her life. Although she wasn't coming from a musical family, she had interest in music. She also had interest in Klingon culture. She was a really good Klingon warrior, and she often played tango with Quark.
I could probably think better without your hand on my thigh.
Nah, how did that get there?
She really got along with everyone on board the station, and she maintained a close relationship with Kira and Julian Bashir, and not to mention Benjamin Sisko, who she had the best and the deepest friendship as well. The friendship between Curzon Dax and Benjamin Sisko was quite deep already, but that was more of a teacher and student relationship. In Jadzia's case, their relationship was more deeper than ever. In terms of romance, she was very popular between the guys. She had many admirers, not to mention Captain Baudet, Julian Bashir, or even Quark. She had a short romance with Daryl from Meridian, and that happened in 2371 when they actually discovered the planet Meridian. That relationship was interesting because she wanted to stay in Meridian, but the planet was actually phasing out from normal space, and she wasn't able to stay in the planet because her presence caused an imbalance in the phasing process, so she had to terminate that relationship. A bit later she confronted one of her old partner in the form of Blainer Khan, and that led for the first female-to-female kiss in the television history. The big relationship obviously that she had with Worf. After Worf came to the station, they become really close, and their close friendship quickly turned into romance, and in 2374 actually they got married. It was a tiny bit tricky because Worf was the part of the House of Martok, and in order to Jadzia to become the member of the House of Martok, she had to get approval from Martok's wife, Cirella. Cirella was really harsh with her, and although Dax was really flamboyant and really wild in nature, although later on she earned Sirella's respect and she became the member of the House of Martok and as well Worf's wife. Jadzia Dax died in 2374 while she was left behind in the Deep Space Nine when the rest of the fleet was battling in the Chintaka system. Gul Dukat arrived to the station being possessed by a Prav Wraith and he killed her in a Bajoran temple. I have to be really honest, but that was one of the most tear-dropping moments in the course of the series. Jadzia Dax, played by the incredibly adorable Terry Farrell. In the really beginning of the series, Michael Piller and the writing team didn't really have any clue what to do with the character, because we're talking about a character who has been male and female before, 7 lifetime of experience. So in a way, Jadzia was really like the Doctor Who of the Star Trek universe, because basically the Dax symbiont regenerated in new bodies, as I said, in a way. Initially in season 1 the writers wanted to have her as a Spock equivalent in Deep Space Nine, but in season 2 they actually realized there's more into the character than actually they originally thought, so she became this kick-ass science officer who had multiple lifetime experiences. At one point Garrett described Jadzia as the woman who really owned herself, and also Terry Farrell described her character as wisely mischievous. I think Jadzia Dax was so far one of my favorite characters in Deep Space Nine. I loved every moment of seeing her in the screen, and she always made me happy, and she always made a positive impact in everyone's life. I remember watching her in the Trials and Tribulations and the Facets, and even in the episode Looking for a Parma in the Wrong Place. Those were my favorite Jadzia Dax episodes, and those were my favorite Jadzia Dax moment as well. I know this character Datafile won't be able to justify the fact how complex and how unique was Jadzia Dax, but I would love to know what do you think about Jadzia Dax as a character in Deep Space Nine. Please let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite and least favorite moment from her life over the 6 years that she actually spent on the show. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.